that we weren't able to get before.
Yep.
Yeah, did you see Bill Nye?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. We're going to start recording. We're streaming live on the internet now.
Did you see Yee and all of his stuff?
Well, I mean, last week I had like an hour and a half worth of Nazi content because it was the German elections.
Yes.
I mean, Yee, not Z. Yee gives 0.0 fucks.
Right.
So whenever you guys are ready,
That's what happens when he's crazy. Huh?
whenever you guys are ready.
He is crazy.
We're just going to talk. You just
Yeah?
fire
Okay.
it up whenever you're
Well,
ready
you know, we
to
got
go.
to do this intro thing.
Okay, let's
This
do
whole
the
thing.
intro.
All right.
All right.
All right. Well, sorry for all of that internet.
5,
Tens of people.
4,
All right.
3.
3. Hold
two.
on. That's my job.
Oh, okay. All right.
We're going to start recording on the mixer in 5, 4, 3.
Welcome to Dave Talks Some More, the podcast at the intersection of humor and, Hey, I'm your host, Dave, and together we'll explore a riveting world of mundane topics with unparalleled indifference. So get ready for a riveting journey through,
Whatever.
This
Whatever.
is Dave Talks Some More.
Gang, gang, gang.
Guten Tag, sinds wij zeiden, ik deinen ons achten, laat der blauwen en strijkten verboten. I had last week I had like an hour and a half of German election Nazi talk.
Oh, that sounded like some pretty good German. Did you take German in college?
No, not in college. I took German in high school for 2 years.
Nice.
And so I would do it. Since Dabs isn't here, she wasn't really thrilled about us doing the Nazi content.
Yes.
So I thought this is our big chance. Dabs is in Canada?
She is in
Canada?
Canada.
Something like that.
Oh, wow.
Someplace far from here.
She
Yeah,
running
she's up
from
there. Yeah, no,
Where's she
she's
running
up there, protesting tariffs.
Oh, God.
Yes.
Well, I saw. What is it about the French woman protesters? They all have to take their shirts off, which you think would be kind of a cheap thrill, but then it's like,
I saw
this is doing nothing for
I
me.
saw the naked French chicks today, and I kept thinking to myself, do they even know what the term fascist is?
No,
And how many people are
le fasciste.
You get on Facebook or any other damn social media site, and it's just, you got 50% that are, diehard liberals, 50% diehard conservatives, whatever. But all these liberal posts, he's a fascist. Do you know what that term means?
No, they do not.
They really don't. I mean, if you look at the definition and the history and the understanding of what it is, they have not one single clue about it. But they will tell you that they do because they are smarter than everyone else.
Well, they're also more disappointing than everyone else because there's no one so elegant as a French woman. And I figured you have French women plus nudity. This ought to be a wonderful.
Should be good.
This should be a great cheap thrill. And instead it was, this does nothing. This moves no needles at all.
I mean, Cosmopolitan, when you were 16 years old or 14 years old, was way better than the French tits today on Instagram.
Yes.
I mean, we're almost all the way down to National Geographic.
Yes.
Sears catalogs with the bra heads in 1972. I mean, it's terrible.
It is.
That's
terrible.
the kind of show this is going to be, a solid
the men's show.
of the Man Show.
The Man Show.
How are you doing? I haven't seen you it's been a minute.
It's been a minute. I've actually been terrible. I've had some health issues all week, but no one wants to hear about those, and so I'm feeling better today. And
Did you get your shot? Did you get the speed shot like I got 2 weeks ago?
no, it's not. I don't have any kind of flu or anything. I'm having some
Get the
blood.
shot anyway.
I'm having some blood issues, and anyway, I think I'm going to be okay.
All right. Well, that's what counts.
Yes.
I have a lot of questions set up for this hour. They're all deeply, deeply spiritual. The first one being, what the hell is it about the waterworks curve that nobody in this town can navigate it? 2 more wrecks this morning just because there was a light misting of rain. And it's a theme every week that we do this show. What is it about people suck at driving at this town? And the waterworks curve, is it really so difficult? Apparently so.
You know, I've often wondered why the hell, when they were designing this terrible section of the interstate, would they do what they did? I mean, why not just make one big solid loop?
Well, I'm going to go the opposite direction and say it's not a terrible section of the interstate. It's these gently sloping curves that any first-year driver can easily navigate at full speed. But something about this town, everybody's got to slap on their brakes and go down to 35 miles an hour.
I totally agree with you.
If you can't take it at speed, you don't need to be driving, period.
I agree that it is not a difficult section of road. The only reason that I say that it should be designed differently is because they should have known that 90% of the people that drive cannot effing drive. And there's a lot of Rankin County drivers out there.
Yeah, well, you know, and while they were fixing that, the other thing they should have done is built up the left shoulder of all roads so that the people that park on a 4-lane highway, 2 lanes going my way, the left lane is not for you to just sit there and park and go the same speed as everyone else. So they should have built up the left-hand shoulder so that they knew that the left-hand drivers were just going to sit there and clog it all up. So those of us who actually know how to drive could go around them on the shoulder. If they just throw a little more asphalt in, would solve a lot of problems.
But think about this. So if you go from, Gluckstadt all the way down to the Stack, wherever, it's basically 4 lanes except for the 3-lane section from Lakeland Drive until High Street.
Yeah.
And the worst section of the interstate in terms of curves, it's not difficult for me or obviously you.
Right.
But it's only got 3 lanes and no shoulder. I mean, it's just I don't understand it. So I think our tax dollars, think about this. $2 billion were spent buying people, mostly voting for the Democrat Party in Georgia, high energy washers and dryers, giving them for free. And we couldn't take that $2 billion and straighten out our roads.
I could do a lot with $2 billion.
I could have straightened out our roads.
I wouldn't be straightening out roads with $2 billion.
I could have straightened out that road section for $100 million.
Wow. The things you should be, you run for Commissioner, Department of Transportation.
I'm not running for jack shit. I have no desire to be in public politics.
I also want to rant about roundabouts. Look, for those of you who don't know, for all the young drivers out there, let me help you with the idea of a roundabout. When you're approaching a roundabout and you start getting that anxiety because you're not used to it, all you have to do is think of, how would Dave drive? What would Dave do? Because it's a rolling 4-way stop. That's all it is. And Dave doesn't stop at 4-way stops unless he sees a police presence.
I'm going to stop you. It's not a rolling 4-way
stop.
Exactly
what it is.
It's not a stop. There's no stop sign.
Okay, that's what the word rolling is for.
It's a yield.
It's a rolling, maybe I'll stop if I have to, but if there's nobody that's going to be in my way, it's not a stop at all. It's a rolling stop. Probably should slow down because you got to navigate that slight turn. But otherwise, just go. Do your thing, man.
Oxford, Mississippi, they are the worst. I mean, they have roundabouts. They have that 3 roundabout section in a row.
Somebody's getting paid off.
And they're not even, it's poorly designed roundabouts. So like you can't, they're too tight of a roundabout.
No, there needs to be a ramp that goes straight over the ramp.
Right.
Maybe like a Dukes of Hazzard with a gap in the middle so that, look, you got to go fast.
But I go through a roundabout every day out by the Renaissance,
right?
Going to work, and it's a 2-lane roundabout. And people do not seem to understand that the inside gets to go straight if they want to.
That's right.
And,
what are you doing?
And so
I'm following the rules.
Doug Noble, who worked, he and I for years, we've said to ourselves, and that We want to get just some piece of crap truck and just constantly run.
Just go back and forth. Train everybody.
And go through the roundabout and just look for that one sucker and just plow into their car.
Take them out.
And then just take insurance money
Yeah.
over and over
yeah.
and over and over because we're teaching them a lesson.
That's it. You could make a living as a crash test dummy, you know, and just some old beater, and just have a lot of old beater cars, and maybe have a wrecker, and they come and take one off, and then you go back to your lot, pick out another one, and just keep doing it. God only knows what you'd make.
But, you know,
Feel great about this.
I have to admit that there are so many people in that left lane that just sit there. It's like, and so I will go
so much.
I will go in the outside lane and intentionally break the wall just because there's no one in that
270-degree turn.
There's no one in the
yes.
outside lane, and so
Yes.
you can just go ahead and go
Yeah.
around these dumbasses that are just sitting there at a stop sign. It's like it's not a stop sign.
Here's some more help for those of you who come to a four-way stop. You know that thing where you come to the four-way stop and then the guy across from you hits it at the same time, or the guy at 90-degree angle hits it at the same time, and you do that thing where it's like, well, did I go first or do you go first? Do I go? Here's Dave's rule. Just go.
I go.
Just go.
I go first.
If that guy slows down, that means he's not man enough to do what you're going to do, because you are man enough.
I just go
and
first.
you're going to just go, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, and if for some reason they're coming through and it looks like they're going to beat me through the intersection, I'll stop.
That's fine. Yeah,
I don't care.
That's fine, but there's nothing more effeminate. You might as well put your lipstick on while you wait. When two guys pull up to a four-way stop and they both look at each other, are you going to go? No, I didn't go.
So I respect aggressive drivers. Not aggressive in the
Yes.
sense that you're running over someone, but
competent drivers.
Yes.
You know what they're doing.
Well, like, I mean, my dad taught me, okay, son, you need to drive defensively. But in my opinion, to drive
No.
defensively, you have to have some aggression.
Yep.
Otherwise, you're just a rolling accident waiting to happen.
That's all it is.
Or you're going to cause someone else to have a massive accident. The worst is getting on the interstate. Do you realize that these people, you know, it's like, oh, well, I know the interstate is going 70 and I'm on this entrance ramp. I'm going to do 30 and slow down to look. It's like, no. You're
You
supposed
should be going 80.
well, either 80 or you should at least be going 70 and then looking for the merge spot.
Yeah.
It's just crazy to me.
It's
We should have annual driving tests that are required.
it wouldn't help. You should have dash cam. We should turn over to AI dash cam videos so that I can watch.
You know,
and
they
see
don't
how you
even
did.
require a driving test anymore.
Why bother?
A physical driving test.
Well, I mean, why bother? From what I've seen,
you just
it
take some.
doesn't
You
help.
just take some online little. You know.
What's the deal with old people driving with these full black goggles so that there's no natural light creeping in? How does that help? What's the point of that?
How does driving?
And if it helps, why isn't everybody wearing the full blackout welder's mask goggles?
Well, one, I've never seen this, but two, how does driving with a mask help?
By yourself.
By yourself.
With the top down. I mean, would you just rob a bank? What's the deal with that?
I don't know. I mean, it's just
You
been
see
great.
people walking through the Kroger's parking lot by themselves wearing a mask, and you think,
I saw some.
I need a therapist card to hand to you.
So I saw some liberal chick. She was posting on Instagram or Twitter or something. You know, she's wanting to protest, you know, the fascism and Trump and Ukraine or whatever. And so, you know what her how she was going to protest this?
Not take her top off.
Wear a mask.
Well,
I'm
great
going.
idea.
We all need to wear our mask, and I'm like, please, please put
yeah,
your mask on,
Yeah, double bag it.
so that I can see you coming from a mile away and avoid you with everything that I have in my arsenal of tools to avoid you.
Yeah, you know, that's the business that we should have started was having welders masks.
What
I mean,
are
if you
these
really want
welders
to keep
masks?
it out, you know what I'm talking about, like a welder's face shield that's solid iron, solid.
No, I know what I
steel.
know what that is.
That's what they should be wearing.
Well, you're just talking about these people that have like dilated pupils.
Well, yeah, but these old people that drive and they've got these goggles, they don't go all the way over the nose or something, but I mean they're these full heavy goggles and no natural light getting in whatsoever. Enough of these old people do it where it's got to have some kind of benefit, but I don't know what it is. And if it really is a benefit, why isn't everybody wearing it?
Maybe they're blue blockers. Do you remember the blue blockers? I have a pair of the blue blockers.
Was it as fake as
fakest
thing
let
ever?
me tell you. So my friend Billy, who's no longer with us.
Don't say it. Every time.
I knew I had to say it because I knew you were going to give me shit about it. All right, so Billy loved to give great gifts. Okay, and so we were always, back in the 90s. I mean, they had the blue blocker commercials all the time.
All the time.
All the time. And so one year for Christmas, I got some blue blockers. I still have them. They're great. I mean, there's kind of been a resurgence in these porn star looking 70s Ferrari, sunglasses.
Okay.
The big, they're huge sunglasses. And so anyway, they've kind of come back into style, but I do like my blue blockers. They're not very good looking, but they work. So the type of glasses that we want, that there was a commercial. Do you remember the commercial where Eric Estrada was on there and he had some sunglasses and he would go, Estrada. And he had his name, Estrada, across the lenses.
No, I can't believe I missed that.
Yeah, I mean, it was like etched into the lenses, and he would go, Estrada. And I mean,
bored him for that.
I mean, every time the commercial would come on, Billy and I were like, man, what I would give for some Estrada glasses. And we have looked. I mean, I still occasionally, if I think about it, I'll probably go home tonight and see if I can't find it on Etsy or somewhere. Because I really want some Estrada glasses. So any of our listeners out there, if you know of any Estrada glasses, please let me know.
You think that helps with the ladies?
I don't know. It helped with Eric. Estrada.
I think being on TV might have helped it all.
Maybe.
So it's the whole show, I thought, is all about the rules of manhood and how to get your man card, how to keep your man card.
So give us some rules.
We've hit a few of them. Well,
knowing how to drive is one.
Yeah, knowing how to drive. Start off with the classics. Never ask for directions. Never read the instructions. I assume we can agree on that.
100%.
100%. Here's something.
As a matter of fact, I did that today when I was hanging all that crap in my, closet. My wife.
That was the weirdest thing I've seen, Sean.
Well, so she had bought these things and had all these, instructions with them. I mean, I just ripped them. I threw the instructions away, had the screw set, and I was like, I don't need all this shit. No. I know how to hang.
Yeah.
I mean, you should know how to hang.
I'm just hanging hooks in a wall. How hard can it be?
Exactly.
Right. But I'm not thrilled about the idea of having hooks to hang up all of your gimme caps or your baseball caps. I'm not down with that. Here's how you hang up all of your baseball caps. There's some pile somewhere and you just throw your baseball caps there. Having individual hooks so that you can see each individual baseball cap at the same time, I'm not down with that. I don't have a good feeling for that.
Okay. Well,
so that's just personal critique.
Yeah.
All right. Rule number one. Danny, you're going to jump in on this.
Yeah.
All right. Remember, rules for men.
What's rule number one?
If you walk into a public restroom and there are only 2 urinals and one of them is occupied, you have to wait until the other guy's finished so that you're not standing next to another man.
No, because then you're going to look gay.
That's a rule.
You're going to look gay.
Yeah, if you're standing next to him.
Is there a divider?
Yeah, there's a divider.
Then what are you talking about?
Then why does it matter if there's a divider?
Oh, okay.
If you stand back, you look.
All right. Well, let me.
It's like you're trying to get a picture of that guy's dog.
With his back to you?
Yeah.
What are you checking his ass out?
You're looking through him?
There's
right,
2 urinals. There's a divider. One's open. One's not. Why would you not go to the open one?
Here's the variation. And I love the fact y'all have strong feelings about this. All right, variation is you walk into the same situation. You walk into a public men's room. There are 3 urinals this time. 1, 2, 3. a guy is using urinal number 1.
You go to 3.
Yeah.
Every time.
100%.
100%. What happens if you use number 2 instead of number 3?
That's
If you're an old man and it's like, I mean,
so if you go in and there's a bank of urinals, let's say 10 of them, do you go to the one in the middle or do you go to the very last one at the end of the row?
The one at the end.
Hell yes, 100%.
Every time. Why is that?
if there's like 6 between you, like,
Okay, so
You're fine.
I have a funny story about the restroom. You want to hear?
Hit me.
Okay, so my sister is having her first child up in Charlotte. My dad and I go up there, and all the women are they're at the hospital, and Dad and I are like, we needed to get out of there. We had enough of all of that. So Dad and I go to Wendy's, and we decide we're hungry, and so I get some sort of taco salad. And if you've ever been to Wendy's and had that, they serve it with a big thing of their chili. And so anyway, so Dad has just poured his chili from his container into his salad. Okay. And his
God, I'm having bowels trouble already.
Okay, so but just ignore because he didn't eat his chili. Okay, so I sit down with my tray, and my tray bumps his tray, and the whole thing of chili goes into my dad's lap. And so, I mean, I'm like, oh, and it's hot chili, and Dad was, he wasn't mad at me. I mean, he's like, oh God, And so Dad gets up and runs to the restroom. Well, so. I mean, Dad is like in there for like 15 minutes. I mean, I have eaten all of my food, and I'm like, I've seen some people come out, and I saw like a dad and a young kid come out, and I'm thinking, what in the hell is going on? So finally, my dad comes out of the bathroom, and first of all, his shirt is untucked, which my dad has never gone anywhere in his life with his shirt untucked. Okay. But Dad comes out, he's got his shirt untucked, and he's just, I mean, literally crying, laughing. And I'm like, what's going on? And he goes, you're not going to believe what happened to me. And I was like, what? And he goes, well, so, I mean, I felt like I had to get the chili out of my pants. So sure. I took my pants off and I washed all the chili out of the pants. And so.
By the way, you can see this happen at Taco Bell, but it ain't chili.
Hold on.
So, day of the week.
So his, he's gotten his shirt wet and his boxer shorts wet, and he's put his jeans back on, but they're still kind of wet.
Like a homeless guy.
So Dad decides that there's a hand dryer there, and he's going he's going to dry his clothes, his shirt, his pants, and his boxer shorts with the hand dryer.
Wow.
And so Dad has got his pants, his jeans are unzipped. His whole crotch is like into the hand dryer, and the dad and this like 6-year-old boy comes walking in, and Dad says,
"Dirty old man."
Dad said he turned around when the door opened, and the dad goes, grabs his son's hand, and goes, "Come on, son, we're getting out of here." And Dad turns, he like reaches, looking over his shoulder. He's like, "I promise, it's not what I think it is. What you think it is." And the guy just kept scurrying out, and Dad, he was like, I didn't know what to do, and I was like, well, at least you got your clothes dry.
Wow.
So yes. Anyway, great scene in the Wendy's in Charlotte.
That's some curious choices your dad made there.
All
right. So rule number 3.
Are we done with the bathroom?
Yeah.
Okay.
Number 3, if you're sick, don't go to the doctor until someone has to call the ambulance. That's a rule.
I don't know about that.
Oh, I don't like pain, bro.
That's rule. That's rule number 4.
I mean,
to be manly, if you're in pain, no, you're not.
Well, look,
you go to therapy.
I'm
so
married to a doctor.
I
I have doctors in my family. I would say that any doctor, male or female, and Dabs is not here to defend it, but any doctor, whether you're a male or female, would say, you don't need to go to the doctor. You're fine. Right? So, I don't know that rule is necessarily just a male rule.
It's a man rule.
It's definitely
a man
doctor
rule,
rule.
Sean.
It's a doctor rule.
Man rule. All right. Never let the enemy know what you intend to do, which is another way of saying never use your turn signal when you're driving.
Oh, yeah. I don't do that. You know why?
What? You're a fucking monster.
Don't let the enemy know what
when
you're
I'm
going
down
to
the
do until you
interstate,
do it.
I do not turn on my blinker if
That's
I'm
right.
changing lanes because I don't want them to know that I'm getting ready to fly
That's
by
right.
them at Mach 10.
Exactly. That's absolutely right.
Thank you.
You're a monster.
Let's see where we at. Number 5. If you're in the shower and you have to pee, nobody's going to know.
Oh, well, first of all, I don't use the toilet. I just go in the shower every day.
That's kind of the point of rule number 5.
Let
me give it to you
right,
again.
Do you know
if
why?
You're
Do you
in
know
the
why?
shower,
Do you know why guys piss outside?
outside, like outdoors?
Like in the backyard. Do you know why guys piss out in the backyard?
I'm curious what your theory on this is.
Because they can.
Yeah, well, okay. That's pretty much what I was going to say.
Yes. I mean,
why not?
Yes. 100%.
There are, I have.
If I'm outside in the backyard and my dogs are going to the bathroom, I am 100% taking a leak right there in the flower bushes.
I'm married to somebody who is not down with that. I can tell you.
So you just can't get caught.
Well, yeah, by a man and his son outside the Wendy's.
I mean, obviously
for sure.
you're not standing in your
No, but
front
if you go-
yard
yeah,
breezing in the wind.
Yeah, no.
I mean,
but
I'm
if
talking
you
about
go
the
stand
backyard.
behind a tree or something.
Well, whatever.
Yeah, what's the problem? All right, rule number 6. If the car windshield is frozen over, so what? A postage stamp size clear spot is all you need to drive.
No, I'm putting
No
putting
doubt
water
about
on
that.
there.
Yeah, no.
No, I'm remote starting the truck and letting it warm up for the appropriate amount of time to ensure that all of the ice is properly defrosted off of my windshield.
Really? What color dress do you wear when you do that?
Yellow,
Dave,
thank
first
you.
of all, Dave, if you want to be a good aggressive driver,
You
which
have to
I
have a
am,
clear windshield.
You have to have a good windshield.
Come on.
I mean, you have all these rules about how we're going to be aggressive as a driver.
Exactly.
But you
There's
can't.
nothing more aggressive than I have no idea where the hell anything is. I'm just going.
I mean, that's throwing caution to the wind.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
All right.
Well, now you can't. I mean, you have a convertible, or at least you used to. So you could just open your convertible and just look out.
Well,
to the
again,
side.
remember the windshield is frozen over. I don't think I want to be driving with the top down.
But according to your
with the
man rules,
windshields.
I mean, you wouldn't. I mean,
Well, that'd be cheating.
What are you, a
no man-
pansy?
I mean, what? I mean,
that'd be-
really?
Yeah, you'd
I
be
mean-
a pansy. I mean, you'd be looking out over the windshield, like popping your head over the windshield. What's the point?
Well, in
Yeah,
my
that'd be cheating.
okay. First of all,
Tell you
let me go to this. So, I've owned a few Jeeps, and if you get a hardtop with a Jeep, in my opinion, you should lose your man card. 100%.
How do you figure that?
Well, first of all, why the hell would you buy a Jeep that you can't take the top off of without some act of Congress?
Oh, those hard to pop on? See, I don't know.
Yeah.
Are the hard tops on a Jeep
Yeah,
are hard to
you know
pop
how you
on?
get them
Okay.
off? You have to hook up some
Oh,
pulley
is that
system.
the thing with the winch and people have the winch?
Yeah,
in
you
their
have to hook
garage?
up
a-
You have to.
You have to hook all that up. I mean,
that doesn't sound like fun.
The purpose of the Jeep is to drive around without the top on.
Maybe without the doors on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Without the doors.
No
and
roll
you know
bar
what?
or anything.
So in my CJ7 Renegade from 1980, which by the way, I have to say, I was looking through an old box today, and I ran across this like state title, and I didn't know what it was. I mean, this is from 40 something years ago. I opened it up, and it is the old title to my CJ7 Renegade from 1980. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I went and, I have the ability to search VIN numbers, and I went, found the VIN number. I now know who owns my Jeep. It's still out there on the road, and I intend to go acquire my Jeep.
Yeah.
And I texted a buddy of mine, John.
That's called
Hopkins.
Grand Theft Auto, by the way.
No, I
Sean.
mean, well, John told me, he goes, if he won't sell it to you, we can.
I know a guy.
Well, here's the thing: the old 1980 Jeep Renegades or any of the Jeep CJs back then, you didn't even need a key to start it, because the old AMC, it had those two little silver like things for your finger and your thumb. You could just all you had to do was just wiggle it and then turn it. It'd crank right up with no key.
Oh yeah.
So I don't even need a key to go get my Jeep back.
Also a felony.
Yes. But you should be able to drive a Jeep with no top on.
I agree with that.
And you don't even need a heater because if you
No.
just put the fan on, the heat from the engine will heat the Jeep.
That's right.
And
that is exactly right.
And so you don't need the doors on because let me assure you, if you're driving a Jeep and you are letting the heat from the fan come into the Jeep, you will sweat your absolute ass off.
That's it.
Yes.
Yeah, you'll be fine. All right. Rule number 8: the kitchen garbage isn't full until you've stomped it down at least twice.
Yeah,
100% agree.
100% agree.
Now, let me ask you this: do you get upset when someone in your family doesn't stomp it down and it's just overflowing?
We've got basically the same argument in two different ways at my house. One is how often, like how close does your needle on your gas tank get to E before you refill? Which is, if you think about it, it's the same argument as how full does the kitchen garbage get before you throw it out? You can imagine my feeling is the needle's got to be on the left side of E. And as I said, if you hadn't stomped it down at least twice, it's not full.
Well, you're making the most use out of your bag.
Yeah. Well, I'm married to somebody. If somebody puts a Dixie cup in the it's supposedly a chore that I'm to help out with to throw out the kitchen garbage. But I'm like, it's not full. But it wasn't full.
But my girls will throw stuff in there and they won't push it down.
No.
So it's just overflowing.
Yes.
And it's like, if you just push it down in there, we can add more trash to it. Anyway, yes. You should stop it down.
I wasn't sure I was going to get full compliance with that. So that's good. Rule number 9, anytime your wife wants you to do something, just tell her to hang on until the game's on. Tell her to hang on. The game's almost over, and just keep telling her that until she does it herself.
Okay. Well, first of all, I did this last night. I was playing solitaire while watching the basketball game. And,
oh boy, little bored were we?
And we were getting killed by Florida. But anyway, Sarah was like, because we're celebrating Sarah's birthday, which was yesterday, and my parents and her parents came over. And so anyway, Sarah asked me to do something. And I was like, yeah, just give me a second. And of course, I'm finishing my solitaire game, and I'm watching Ole Miss get their ass kicked by Florida last night. But yes, 100%.
Rule number 10. This isn't as pithy as the others. If you have bad shoulders or bad hips, there are exercises that would really help if you did them every day, but don't do them. Instead, just complain about how bad your knees hurt.
Well, first of all, I don't have any issues with any of that.
I think that's a very man type thing to do. Is I could fix this, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to keep on hurting.
So let me ask you this: if you go to a restaurant and you order something, and it's either wrong or it's really, really crappy, do you eat it or do you send it back?
It depends on how nice the restaurant is.
Why does that matter?
Well, because if it's $5, I really don't care.
You just eat it.
Well, let's face it. I'm eating garbage anyway, so it's.
I mean, if you go to McDonald's, I guess if you go to McDonald's,
that's what I'm saying. If it's fast food, you get what you get.
Yeah, that's right.
If it's a nice place, no, absolutely, I want it right because I'm paying, $60 for a steak or whatever it is. Yeah, I want it right.
So you don't just eat it and then bitch about it and complain about it?
No. Well, if I'm just
because that would be the same premise.
Yeah, if I'm just going to say, you know what, screw it, I'm just going to eat it, I'm not going to complain about it later on. I'm just going to be a man. I made my decision. Live with my decision.
Okay.
And, but if you send it back, you send it back. But don't be a little.
You can say it. You go ahead.
Don't be a little bitch.
There you go. All right, there you go.
Don't be a little bitch. And my steak's slightly underdone. Oh, now you cooked it too much. Oh, this sauce. Shut up.
Yes.
I mean, if you want it done right, if you really wanted it done right, you'd learn how to cook and you'd do it yourself.
Do you know how many people go to Tico's? And I'm plugging Tico's. And this is obviously in Oxford because my son's always telling me about it. He's like, I cannot tell you how many times someone will order well done. First of all, no man should ever order their steak anything other than medium rare?
Oh, I disagree with that.
What?
No, I disagree with that completely.
What do you get
I agree with Sean on this.
What do you get your steak?
I'm solid medium,
Ugh.
and I can. Well, you bellyache all you want. I don't want to eat raw meat.
It's not raw.
Okay, it's medium rare.
Okay, so
that's.
I'll let you eat your medium.
But
if you get your steak well done, you should lose your man card 100%.
What do you think is unmanly about eating shoe leather steak?
Well, one, it's terrible food and you're wasting your money. And two, are you that afraid that you're going to get E. coli that you can't eat a medium rare steak?
The way that it used to be back in the 20s, and you watch movies from the 30s and 40s, they always cook their steak to a crisp.
Okay, you're watching black and white TV. They can't really show the steak.
No, but they would say, cook me a steak, Ma, and I want it color shoe leather or something, something like that. And that's the manly man of the 20s and 30s.
We're just gonna have to disagree.
They all
I've
cook
got
their
Danny
steak
on my
to where
side
you could,
here.
You could walk on it.
Yeah, no. Your
steak's
got to be medium rare.
Let me say this. Caring about your food and how it tastes, not a manly trait. Oh, I know.
What are you talking about?
That is not a manly
There's
trait.
whole industries devoted to this.
Oh, I know. Yeah, that's right. Also, not a manly trait. There's whole industries that are devoted to men wearing nice, sharp-looking clothes, but that's not a manly thing. Just not.
If you make millions from that and that affords you the luxury of being able to have a manly yacht and go manly sailing across the country.
But spending $12,000 on a suit, that's not a manly thing to do.
You do it 3 times a year. What are you talking about?
$12,000 on a
First of
horse?
all, Dave, first of all, you're talking to someone who worked in fashion. You're 100% wrong about this.
Yeah.
If I'm going to go in there and buy a suit, because men wear suits, right?
Yeah,
I mean, we wear suits. Not
because we want to.
What is manly about buying a piece of crap $100 suit from Men's Warehouse as opposed to going and buying high quality threads for $1,000, $2,000?
The more a man cares about how he looks, the less manly he is.
I just completely disagree.
Okay.
I'm with Sean on this completely.
So if you're a mobster and you care about your suits, then you're not a man.
You're not in that characteristic is not being manly. No.
Okay, I disagree with you. 100% disagree.
Yeah, I'm with.
If you're wearing a pink suit, whatever. I mean, a zoot suit or whatever. I mean, maybe
zoot suit. We are back in the 1920s. Wow. All right. Also, and this really, I did not boil this down and just say, I got a headache today because I had to listen to heavy metal for about 3 hours today, and and I hate heavy metal, but I had to. I hate me some heavy. Like I say, it gives me a headache. But I had to listen to it, and I had to listen to it for like 3 hours.
Why
because I go see my mom over in Brandon.
Your mom likes
heavy
metal?
Jeez, Louise, can a guy tell a story? Can I tell a story?
Okay,
my mom lives in Brandon. I go see her every Sunday morning, and so I'm turning on whatever the radio station is, and I'm lost in my thoughts. You know how sometimes you're just driving around, you don't even hear what's on the radio. You're just thinking about whatever you're thinking about. And I kind of snapped to, and I realized, oh my God, I'm listening to a Lionel Richie song. And so I immediately was like, oh, screw that. I got to get that out of my head as fast as I can.
So you went to Alt Nation?
So I went to Alt Nation, yes. And I'm listening to heavy metal.
That's not really heavy metal.
Well, I'm really trying to get the
I know
the gross out of my head.
Sure, okay.
And then I got lost in my thoughts.
You went from yacht rock to alt rock. What is this yacht rock? I mean, okay, we listened to that crap in the 70s. I get it, but why? I mean, I don't understand the resurgence.
Weak. Yeah, it's weak.
Yeah,
it is. It's.
I don't understand how you don't like heavy metal. I mean, you say you're Generation X. I mean, heavy metal in the 70s and 80s. I mean, that was it.
Yeah.
Metallica? You don't like Metallica?
I can't stand Metallica.
Iron Maiden?
I can't.
AC/DC?
What a Nazi.
I cannot name a single Metallica song.
What?
I cannot. What's Metallica's biggest hit?
Well, I mean, there's so many of them.
Well, so name one.
I mean,
Nothing else matters.
Nothing else matters.
Play
One.
Play us 10 seconds,
For Whom the Bells Toll.
Of a good Metallica song that I ought to recognize. Okay. Now, AC/DC, I told you the story about
Black Sabbath, Ozzy Osbourne.
Well, I told you the story about Back in Black just driving everybody crazy when I was in high school. No Ozzy, no Black Sabbath. Black Sabbath, didn't they do Smoke on the Water?
No.
Okay. Well, can't help you with that. It's going to take you forever to get Metallica.
No, it's right here.
I figured you'd have it on speed dial.
Which Metallica song are we playing?
Nothing else matters.
Oh, Nothing Else Matters is great.
Yeah.
Here we go. Nothing.
Oh, so good.
This is heavy metal.
And Metallica recently had a resurgence.
This is not heavy metal. This is a ballad.
You've got to listen to the rest of the song.
Yeah.
The song has crescendo.
Yeah.
Yes, anyway.
Here we go.
This is heavy metal.
And nothing else matters.
That's it? One bar?
No.
One bar? That's all the heavy
But
metal?
why don't you play some Four Horsemen?
They should be on Yacht Rock.
Hit the Lights, Four Horsemen.
Oh, that's weak.
For Whom the Bells Toll. For Whom the Bells Toll is a great song.
I'm going to give you that one more. All right. For Whom the Bells Toll.
Okay.
Again, rings no bells for me, but.
Okay, hold on.
All right. Anyway, while he's doing that.
While he's doing that.
I've lost my numbering system because I bounced around too much.
Are you keeping a track of ones that we unanimously
I'm not keeping
agree
track of
upon?
any of them. I'm just
Okay.
I'm giving the.
Hell yes.
You want to start from the beginning? Here we go. We'll start from the beginning. Here we go. This is why you tune in to Dave Talks More.
This song is awesome. I mean, I just don't understand. I don't think you can be a fan.
No, you can't.
And not like your song.
Oh, man. Oh, man. You know what? Let's pull up something that Dave would like here. Let's
hold on. Do you know how many women go to? I mean, women do go to a Metallica show, but I would say that 95% of the people at a Metallica show are men.
Yeah. Here we go.
It's very manly.
Here's Dave's.
Do you know how many men go to a Lionel Richie song?
Yeah, easy.
Here you go, Dave.
This is some yacht rock.
Curious to me how
Kenny
quickly
G,
you were
baby.
able
Kenny
to pull
G.
that up.
If you like Kenny G, you should lose your man card.
Hey, I went through a Kenny G phase.
So you can say 100% that you did not have your man card when you were listening to Kenny G.
No, I didn't, man. I was castrated beyond belief.
Number 11, I think, the Roman Empire should occupy at least 20 minutes of your conscious thinking every day if you're a man.
I don't think about it at all.
Oh,
wasn't there a trend recently on social media?
That's true.
We talked about it in one of our podcasts, right?
Yes. Okay. Well, let me give you the number 12. You should have a basic feel for the size of Russia's tank fleet versus the United States tank fleet, and China's naval strength versus the United States naval strength.
No idea.
If you're a man in America, that's just something you intuitively keep up with. True or false?
Our naval strength is greater than China's naval strength.
That's actually not true.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
And not even close.
I would not know that.
In fact, in his endless State of the Union or whatever that speech was, he announced that there's going to be, he's going to try to revamp U.S. naval power because it's way behind
now,
Chinese naval
I would say
strength.
that Russia has more tanks than the U.S.
Shockingly more.
Well, you know why?
Stupid more. Yeah, because it's a
Because
landlocked,
we're
not landlocked, but all they do is fight land wars.
Right. Well, we're surrounded by water except for Mexico and those Canucks up there.
Or is there now
Eskimos.
calling them snow Mexicans?
Well, I'm not.
They live in America's hat, and they're called snow Mexicans now. I'm highly amused by how pissed off the Canadians are at America. It's like, what are you going to do? Cut off the syrup supply? Like, we're really worried about Canada?
Yeah.
Give me a break.
What's so funny is they took the liquor off of the shelves that were already there.
That was already paid for.
You've already paid for it, you dumbass. I mean, the only person you're hurting is yourself.
They got problems.
Yeah,
they have not figured out warfare.
That is the
like
quintessential. You're cutting your nose off to spite your face.
Real man knows how to change a flat tire.
100%.
Absolutely.
At what age does a man know how to?
12 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, easily.
I don't know about 12.
13.
About the time you're getting your learner's permit.
Your dad should teach you, first of all.
Exactly right.
If he's not a puss.
Well, you know.
And, of course, one of the best scenes ever in television history, or I should say movie history, certainly Christmas movie history, is from A Christmas Story. Please tell me you've seen that movie.
I've seen that one time,
where the dad uses, he uses the worst word ever, fudge.
Fudge, I don't know.
Yeah, because Ralphie knocked over the hubcap full of all the
lug nuts. Yeah,
the lug nuts. Yes. Dad was not happy.
Yeah, and the other thing that will happen, whoever is teaching you how to change a flat tire is going to emphasize 5 times more than they need to. Now, you have to use a star pattern when you're tightening out these lug nuts. Like, I got it the first time.
That's very important, though.
It's very important, by God. If you don't know what that is.
So, do you teach? So, first of all,
100%.
Okay, you should lose your man card if you do not know how to drive standard.
Agreed.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you are a man and you have not taught your boys as well as your daughters and your girls how to drive a standard, you should lose your man card.
Shame on you.
Absolutely.
You should have to pay double child support.
100%.
Yeah. All right. This is not so much a rule as things that a man should know: how to survive a breakup. Your girl broke your heart. And this is, I guess, more for people who are dating than people who are married. But your girl broke your heart. She left you. A man needs to know what's the best way to get over. Here's a hint. Don't be calling her and begging and serenading her at the window. That's not what you need to do.
I would say that 95% of all men go for the rebound immediately. Relatively quickly.
Okay.
Yeah. You
going with this, Daniel? Go to the rebound?
Like the rebound chick?
Yeah, the rebound chick.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's human nature. I don't necessarily know that it's a man thing, but men certainly do it.
Unless you've done a tremendous amount of work on yourself. Like in therapy, and you realize you need to feel what you're feeling.
Oh, okay.
And not numb with another relationship.
No.
Yeah.
All right. Well, somewhere down here on the list.
I guess it would depend on
how long. Don't be going to therapy. Real men don't go to therapy. We all know that. And they don't work on themselves, except in a certain way that we're not talking about.
I mean, clearly Bonnie is not listening to this show.
Well, she's. If she is, she's judging it harshly.
Dave is going to be in trouble when he gets home.
Dave's rule for how to survive a breakup is put it all away, put her on block, don't go see her, whatever stuff, whatever pictures and all that. Get rid of all possible reminders. Don't go where she goes.
You're going scorched earth. I mean, what did she do to you?
Well, to me, that's the rule. Is this? You need to live.
So
your life
if she's not loyal, then scorched earth. We're gonna burn her down.
No, I'm saying if you've gotten to the point of it's a breakup.
What happened to chivalry?
If it's a breakup means you have nothing to do with this person ever again under any circumstances. That's my advice.
Okay, so when Sarah and I broke up, we were engaged. Dated for 2.5 years, engaged, 1995. Sarah and I both went radio silent.
That's the right way.
Neither one of us talked to each other for over 20 years.
Smart.
And we were both convinced that the other had broken the other's heart, or whatever.
There you have it.
And we didn't talk. Zero communication.
See how well that worked out for you?
It worked out, but sure, because we're back together, and we clearly realized, as one would do, this is to Danny's point, that was very immature and stupid to not communicate. But look, I got great kids, she got great kids, and now we have 5 great kids.
On the other end of the spectrum, real man knows how to ask a girl out on a date, which I will reference some earlier show when, God, who was it? Was it Sydney or somebody? Somebody was talking in.
They only snap or whatever.
No.
They don't go out to eat.
But they came in and
they don't even go out
like,
to eat.
Yeah, they just text each other or they look at each other's
Hey,
Instagrams.
we're at a bar. You coming over tonight?
Yeah. Okay. A real man knows how to ask a girl out for a date.
Well, when you say ask a girl out, are you talking about the actual question, or are you talking about how to take a girl out on a date?
No, how to, just basic. How do you get a date from a girl?
Well, you ask her out.
Well, there you go. But these guys don't know how. What's Sean's technique for asking a girl out?
I don't really.
Is there even a technique? Is it so basic?
I think one-liners are really stupid.
Yep.
And they're very cheesy.
Yep.
And if you have to use a one-liner, then you've got an issue.
It's a weak move.
It is a weak move. You should just go in strong and say, hey, let's go out.
Well, I'll top that a little bit by saying I always have a proposal, which is there's a concert or there's a movie. I go in and say, hey, the Smiths are going to be in town on Friday. I've got 2 tickets. Would you like to go? Or Patriot Day is playing at the movies. I've been wanting to go see it. 7:00 Friday.
Patriot Day.
Well, that was a movie from 10 years ago, but
it was a good movie.
It was a good movie. But the idea is I don't say let's go out on a date.
Is that the one with Harrison Ford?
No, that's the one where they.
Was Patriot game.
They put together the Boston Marathon bombing.
Yeah.
But the idea is I go with a specific. Let's go to this restaurant and then we'll go to this event. Would you like to go, say, 6:00 on Friday? I'll pick you up at your place. I don't say let's go out on a date. It's something specific.
Okay. Well, I mean,
and they'll say yes or they say no, and
sure,
that's
so
fine.
I asked this girl out. If she's listening, she'll know who she is, and she's a great girl, and I love her dearly. I consider her a friend. But 30-something years ago, I asked her out. I said, hey, do you want to go out, this weekend, whatever? Yes. And so the day of, she calls me up, and this is pre-cell phone. She calls me up and gives me some lame excuse as to why we can't go out.
Like I'm married or something.
No, she wasn't married. And so I said, okay, that's fine. And she said, no, but, I'd like to go out, some other time. And, and so I said, okay. So 2 or 3 weeks go by and I see her, run into her again. I said, hey, let's go back out, take the rain check. And so she said, okay, great. And so she calls me up again, like 2 hours beforehand, and gives me some crap. Right. And so the manly thing to do is what?
That's
Walk
it.
away.
That's it. We're done.
And that's what I did. And I never asked her out ever again. I mean, fool me once, shame on me. Or you fool me twice, shame on me. So I never asked her out again. 30 years go by, or 25 years or whatever. She's had a few to drink, and I run into her at this somewhere up in Oxford, and she's had a little bit to drink, and she confesses to me that she was really nervous, and for some reason was so nervous that she couldn't actually go out, and that's the reason that she had canceled, but that she always regretted canceling and not going out with me. And I was like, well, you lost your opportunity.
You want me to do about that?
Yeah.
Well, what do you want me to do with that information?
Well, I mean, yeah. I said, well, you should have, coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Yeah, really.
And so you missed your chance. We laughed about it, but, anyway, whatever.
All right. Question number 4. What do you do when your significant other is mad at you? A real man knows how to handle that.
Yeah, you shut down and walk to the other room and don't say a single word.
Solid. That's solid take. That's a solid take.
I mean, I don't know whether it's a real.
I don't disagree with that.
I don't know whether it's a real man or just a smart man, but the smart man shuts his mouth.
Uh-huh.
Okay, period.
Yeah.
Do we need to shut our door? We've got some interlopers coming down the hall.
And if you're lucky, sometimes they'll give you the cold shoulder, and that's a happy time.
Yeah,
because nobody's talking for 3 days, and winter is never so cold as when nobody's talking and people are just passing like ships in the night.
Now,
that is
obviously
a freezing cold house.
I've obviously done that. Over the years, I've realized that that's kind of stupid.
Kind of.
Yeah, I mean, because the truth of the matter is that if you're in a relationship with someone that you love and y'all have had an argument, well, at some point that y'all are both going to forgive each other. You're both going to move on. A week or so is going to come by and everything's going to be back to normal. So it came to me, I don't know, 10 years ago maybe, before Sarah and I got married. And it was like, why wait that whole week and just make yourself miserable? Just immediately go back to being normal. And it's a much better option.
Well, it's so that you can wallow in your pain and yell at this person in your head and feel justified and vindicated, and give yourself time to realize, this actually is not optimal, and give that person time to admit that they were wrong, so that you can be gracious and forgive them on certain terms.
False pride is a good manly quality.
Absolutely. 100%. Yeah.
That's it. That'll be a good clip for TikTok.
Yeah. I'm really sure where to go with that. Last manly question. What's the most important advice you would give to the younger version of yourself?
Slow down, take it easy, and take it all in.
Oh man, that sounds like a high school graduation.
What? No.
Speech? Yeah, it does.
Hadn't you ever heard the story about the father bull and the baby bull?
What? Oh, God.
This is Ferdinand the Bull.
We got 3 minutes left, Sean. Make it count.
I can't take credit for it because I didn't come up with it, but I will certainly pass it on. It's got some colorful language, so you're just going to have to grit and bear it. Or grit and bear it. So baby bull comes up to, daddy bull and says, hey, Dad, let's run down there and let's have sex with one of those bulls. And the dad goes,
with a bull.
Well, not a bull, the cow, whatever. I meant the cow. And so the dad bull says, how about we walk down there and fuck them all? The dad has learned. The baby has not.
Okay.
Yeah. So
wait,
be patient,
say the
son.
first part.
So
why don't we run?
The baby bull says to Dad, "Hey, let's run down there and fuck one of those cows." And so the dad bull says, "Why don't we walk down there and fuck them all?"
What wisdom are you trying to impart with this story? Yeah. What are you trying to say? What deep Buddhist thought of wisdom?
We don't have to do everything so fast. That sometimes when you take it in and take it slow,
you can fuck all the cows.
You get a lot more bang for your buck.
This advice goes over big in Starkville. Sure. Wow.
I don't know about that in Starkville, but yeah, bestiality is not my thing.
Yeah, I actually know a great joke about that.
About bestiality?
No, it's one of my favorite jokes.
Oh, well, please tell it.
No,
this is a manly show.
No.
Come on.
Because it's really filthy.
It's okay.
Come to think of it, all the great jokes that I know are just so vulgar that I can't tell them at all.
Well, well, first of all, that's part of being a man, is that you should be able to have a group of men that you can tell really gross and vulgar jokes
and
to.
you need to have a pocket of ready-made jokes so that anytime the joke telling starts, you've got a few to pitch in.
Well, in today's day and age, if you have to be careful because, there are some men out there that honestly should lose their man card because if you tell a joke.
Oh, they'll turn you in.
Well,
that's why you can't tell it on a podcast, Sean.
Well, this is true. I don't think my bull joke was.
I think you'll be okay.
Yeah, I think I'll be okay. Yeah.
All right. Well, I hope that helps all the less manly men out there. Maybe this will tighten up your man game.
Get your man card back.
Get your man card back.
If you've lost it, like by listening to Kenny G.
That's it. All right. Danny,
we need to go out with some Metallica.
Next time.